So last week we got a new contender in the generative music AI space called Udio. And I thought it'd be cool to try it out in this video and show you what it's capable of. Its rival Suno has been making waves for the past month or so, and I won't talk about it much in this video, but it's safe to say that both models are light years ahead of the lo-fi gibberish output that Google's Music LM was producing about a year ago. Udio was released in beta, and for now it's completely free, and has the backing of big investors like A16Z and also from prominent names in music like the rapper Common and will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas. So let's have a look at what it's capable of. Right, so here we have the homepage, and as you can see there's some staff picks and some trending music that you can go and listen to. We're not really going to dive into that too much right now. What we're interested in is this box up here, and that is where you put your prompt in. And by default, it's going to kind of enhance the prompt. It's going to add some things to it that Udio thinks will make a better output. But if you really want to keep it to exactly what you wrote, you can actually turn on manual mode over here. But for now, we're going to keep that off. You can also roll the dice here and just go with something completely random. Has a whole bunch of tags over here for genres mostly. And I guess that's going to help it produce something in a particular style. And then we have the lyrics section over here. So by default, it's going to be set to auto-generated. And what that means, it's probably going to go off to some ChatGPT-like thing and generate some lyrics based on your prompt. And it's going to use them to generate the music. You can also just keep it instrumental, so no lyrics will be generated. And the cool thing here is that you can actually write your own lyrics. I guess that's similar to Suno, but you know, if you have some lyrics in mind for a particular thing, or maybe you're writing a song for somebody, then you can just stick them here. All right, so we're gonna keep the lyrics auto-generated for now. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna type a prompt for something I came up with. And that's gonna be a disco track about clowns. I don't really know why. That was just the first thing that popped into my head. Probably I saw the Joker trailer recently, so that might be it. So let's just get that in. And because it's a clown theme, I guess we'll just say at the end, but with a few clown horns thrown in occasionally. And let's see if it'll be able to produce that. So click create here. All right, so it's finished generating my tracks. And as you can see, it actually basically took about a minute to do it. And it generates you two versions, so you can kind of take it in the direction that you want. Okay, so this is the first one that it generated, called Under the Big Top Groove, which it generated itself. Let's have a listen.
Hey, stepped in my size 22s. Big red nose, I'm here to amuse. Painted smile while I entertain. It's my rules. Hear the laughter, it's my muse. Juggling life in colors so bright, throwing pies under the spotlight.
Okay, so I think probably the lyrics are maybe holding it back a little bit. Not the lyrics themselves, but the way that the vocals were pronouncing them, the prosody, if you will, was kind of holding it back. But musically, I think it sounded great. I mean, pretty much exactly what I told it to do. It was pretty funky. I couldn't really hear, something that was super off. So it's pretty impressive. So let's listen to the second one. Right. So the second one is called Funky Masquerade. Let's have a listen. And as you can see, it's actually got different lyrics as well.
Woke up with a painted smile. Life intense is quite the style. Great big shoes and pants so wide. Step inside this funky ride. Juggling balls in sync with bass. Glitter suit my funky grace.
Okay, was that supposed to be a clown horn at the end? Maybe. Again, pretty good. I mean, I loved I thought the lyrics were nicer in this one in terms of how the vocals were singing them. And I love that like kind of, small room reverb almost that the vocals had. That sounded amazing. Right. So as you can notice, the tracks that it produces are about half a minute long, 33 seconds exactly. I'm not sure why that is, but that's kind of how it starts. And one of the nice things with Udio is that you can say extend. So if we go to Funky Masquerade, for example, and we want to extend it, now we get another pop-up. And what you can do is you can add an intro, you can add a section before, add a section after, and you can add an outro if you want to kind of close off the track. Right, so I think we'll add an intro. And I mean, intros are usually instrumental, so I'd probably select instrumental here and see what it comes up with. Okay, so once again, we've got two versions of the intro that we wanted from Udio. And as you can see, it's named them extension V1 and extension V2. I don't think it was doing this a few days ago, so, they're improving it. And let's listen to the first one. Strange clap sound. Okay, and now it should fade into what we had before.
Woke up with a painted smile. Life in
That was pretty smooth transition. That's just, I'm not sure if I heard that correctly. Let's have another listen.
woke up with a painted smile.
Yeah, I mean, that transition was pretty good. Like the intro itself was a little underwhelming probably. It doesn't really build up too much, but in terms of consistency, I think that was pretty impressive. So let's have a look at the second one. So extension V2, here we go. Okay.
Woke
Okay. I mean, build-up wise, I think that was a little stronger. I don't know what happened to the musicians. They kind of lost their way around here. That bit's a little strange, but overall, again, pretty impressive. So another thing you can do if you're not totally happy with the base material is use this remix function over here. And what that does is give you this slider, first of all, to kind of tell it how similar you want it to be to this bass thing, but with a slightly different twist. Or maybe you can go completely the other way and you want something completely different. And that's what this slider's for. And you can also just modify the prompt a little bit, add some tags, remove some things, rewrite some things, whatever you want to do. So that's the remix functionality right there. And so just to double back to the custom lyrics that you can, enter into the prompt essentially, what you can do, and it gives you the lyrics tip over here, you can actually add in these kind of, square brackets with certain things inside them, and they will do interesting things, as it says. And you can also delineate verses, choruses, bridges, and so on and so forth. So let's give that a try. But for that, we have to generate some custom lyrics. So let's go to ChatGPT to help us out. Okay, so ChatGPT, I've written a little prompt kind of to help it figure it out. I said I want it to be a chorus section, and I gave it the lyrics for the verse. So let's see what it comes up with. All right, so this is what it's come up with. In a world of laughter, tears unseen, behind the mask, I dance and dream. I mean, it's taken a little bit of a sad way, but I guess we can work with that. So let's take these over to Udio. And for this extension v2, which I kind of preferred, let's extend that to add a section afterwards, custom lyrics, and then let's add a sax solo, because why not? And also let's make this the chorus, just to maybe it'll change the way it's producing it. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so we have our 2.1 and our 2.2. These will have the chorus and hopefully the sax solo. Let's have a quick listen. I'll jump to the part that was generated after.
In a world of laughter, tears unseen, behind the mask, I dance and dream, painted joy, a colorful facade, beneath the laugh,
Here we go.
my heart applauds.
Oh, not enough time. Okay, I guess we probably have to add that as its own section, but it was getting there, it feels like. And now for 2.2.
In a world of laughter, tears unseen, behind the mask, I dance and dream. Painted joy, a colorful facade, beneath the laughs, my heart applauds.
Okay, so we got bad MIDI keyboard sax solo, but again, probably just didn't have enough time. And I think what's notable is that one of the variations always seems to be kind of close to the original material, and the second one is like wildly different. So that slider that I showed you earlier, probably they're kind of trying to cover both of their bases and doing one that's similar and one that's quite different to the original. All right, so I think that's pretty impressive up to now, but I feel like things like disco, electronic music, maybe lo-fi hip-hop, these feel a little bit easier to generate. So what I want to do is I want to push it to its limits and try and get it to generate something that's like very technical, very virtuosic, see if it can handle that. And then also something like classical music, you know, with a lot of feeling, a lot of dynamics, a lot of variation. So let's start off with the technical stuff. All right, so what I've done is I've kept the beginning of the prompt, and then for the rest, I've actually just added a bunch of tags with commas in between, and I want to see what it generates here. I mean, maybe we should just keep it instrumental, but let's also just see what it comes up with the lyrics. Cool, so that's finished generating. As you can notice, there is a thing here that says artist replace. That didn't seem to happen on the disco track when I said it should sound like Chic, but for whatever reason, it's replaced Meshuggah. It's correctly identified Meshuggah and replaced it with male vocalist. So let's have a listen to these tracks.
Face me smile, eyes the trust I am the chest unseen. Thundering drums, strumming of my laughter is key. Choked I bled in silence, and the circus gets my reign. Frantic grips, shifting tips and birds I fake this day. Comics mask and art intense whose chest while darkness growls. Shredding cords, a crowd of laws on clouds, lamented hooves.
Wow, okay. Not a bad job. I think it's better than I expected, to be honest. There was a little bit of chaos, a little bit of kind of blending together, but the bit at the end, I was pretty surprised with that. So let's have a listen to the second one. mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think that's pretty impressive, to be honest. Wow. Very impressive. All right. So since it did such a good job with that, I figured I'd also try kind of like a jazz version. So free jazz is something that should, sound a little bit chaotic, let's say, very improvisatory. So I want to see what it comes up with here. So let's have a listen to that, and of course make it instrumental. I mean, I'm no free jazz master, but that sounded pretty good. I don't know how free jazz that would be counted as. I mean, it was kind of a little bit like normal jazz. I don't know. But did you notice that the hiss in the background? Like, it's obviously, been trained on a lot of jazz records with a lot of hiss from back in the old days. And it's captured that really beautifully. So, I mean, it feels like a jazz record to me. So let's have a listen to the second one. Yeah, I mean, that was even more kind of standard jazz, I suppose. Maybe my prompt here is throwing it off a little bit. Maybe I should just remove bebop and modal jazz. But again, I think very impressive, very impressive. I mean, would you realize that that wasn't real if you just heard it and nobody had told you that it was AI generated? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm impressed. Like, you could definitely use this for something, right? All right. And now I've gone for classical music. I've chosen the Romantic period. I've said emotional. I've said Tchaikovsky. It's not a lot of tags, but hopefully it's enough to generate something that we recognize. So let's see what happens. Okay. So we got back Whispers of the Heart and Eternal Nocturne. Let's see. Okay, so a little bit chaotic towards the end there. I thought the crescendo was really nice. The playing felt pretty authentic. I mean, if you listen hard enough, I've only listened once. I'm sure you can find a lot of issues with it, but if you're not paying attention, I mean, that will definitely, work. So let's quickly listen to the second one. Okay, so it kind of captures the vibe, but, would I say that these are very interesting kind of compositions? Would they have stuck out back in the day? Doesn't really feel like it, but, if you need to just kind of have something that gives the vibe, then he might get away with it. But I can definitely imagine that classical music is probably one of the hardest to reproduce in an authentic way. Alright, so that's been a quick look at Udio and what it can do. I'll leave a link to all the tracks that I played down below so you can listen to it if you wish. And if there's anything else that you want us to play around with, or you made a great track with a prompt of yours, then leave that in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time on Mixed Signals. Bye bye.